Dianna, most interesting thing in preseason week number 1 was what?
How different the league feels about Shedeur Sanders' performance compared to the rest of us.
Funny.
Chase, my colleague on Scoop City, quarterback, 14 years, studies film like a lunatic. He's like an Orlovsky. Loves it. Like, just consumes this stuff. And he was on the show with us in today's episode talking about it, and he just really liked the things that he was doing. Yet when I talk to people around the league, I don't get as much enthusiasm about what they saw from Shedeur playing the actual position. Just things that he still has to get better at, which is fine for a 5th-round pick, a rookie quarterback. But I think it may have been heightened a bit just because I think there's a really big group of people that like Shedeur. They want to see him show the world that he deserves to be the starting quarterback in Cleveland, deserves to beat out Joe Flacco. But a lot of people shared with me just, he has a good arm. He's got great poise, good plays with his legs, but just, poor ball security in the pocket, just a couple of those things. So I want to see if this ever levels out. That's what I want to see on Saturday when they play the Eagles. The Browns are playing at the Link at 1, to just see if Shedeur takes this next step, or if everyone sees the way I think people that are studying this stuff see it.
How much of that reaction from people around the league is the same guys who passed on him through 4 rounds?
Which was everyone.
Right, just digging in on their initial opinion.
Great
including
question.
the Browns, by the way.
Yeah, it's funny. When I was calling around, I kept that in mind. Of course, I checked in with people that I knew were in on Shedeur, we'll call it, in meaning they needed a quarterback. But I kept it pretty broad. I asked a lot of people on purpose because I wasn't sure from watching myself. Based on social media and the Nike ad, I'm like, I guess it was great. And then, I think they have a really interesting situation there in Cleveland. I don't think it's going to be easy waters to navigate, because there's going to be this pressure to put him out there because he's electric, because he's got this energy about him. He's got this following, but I don't necessarily believe that always means that that's the best choice. So I think unless if he takes some big step here coming up in this game, then I could see them maybe considering it. But for right now, from what I understand and from talking to enough people around the league, I think Shedeur Sanders stays, on the depth chart in the spot he's in right now. I don't foresee him moving up anywhere.
Why do you hate JJ McCarthy?
Oh my God.
You hate JJ McCarthy?
What's your problem with JJ?
So I'm going to Minnesota tonight. I can't wait. I feel like I'm going to land at the airport and people are going to throw eggs in my face. By the way, leave it to me to fight with the nicest fan base in America.
Right.
Yes. Of course.
Yes.
Is that a known thing that Viking fans are the nicest fan base? I didn't know that.
Oh my God, they're like the people from Minnesota
Very
are
nice.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like even the staff in Minnesota, like you talk about fighting, it's impossible to fight with people, with the coaching staff and with the PR people there. It's like a Minnesota nice thing. Obviously, East Coast people were a little bit more direct. We'll scream in your face. We'll love you and hug you later, but we share how we feel. Minnesota just I think they feel the same rage we feel, but they just don't say it. But it's part of the reason why I love going to Minnesota is because I'm like, wow, so this is a world where people are kind. So yeah, in the off season, I think I got on their bad side because there was a time where Minnesota was having conversations about bringing in Aaron Rodgers. And I made the mistake of doing Dan Patrick's show. That wasn't the mistake. I love Dan. It was Dan set me up on purpose and said, all right, take a guess right now. If you had to guess, Aaron Rodgers will play where? This is just a guess. And as a reporter, when you guess, people think that's you saying that's what's going to happen. And I took a beat and I said, Dan, I think that Aaron Rodgers will somehow wind up in Minnesota.
That's a report.
Hater.
Why do you hate JJ
Headline,
McCarthy?
Russini says Rodgers.
That's a bad job by Dan Patrick, by the way. I mean,
I texted his people. I was like, never again. No more guessing questions. No, and I do really enjoy that show. And he asks questions like you do, Stu, just things that are hard, and I'm never going to come out on top, but I enjoy the challenge. Because even this show, I will get aggregated from this afterwards, right? It'll be like, Russini hates Minnesota. She thinks Shedeur Sanders should be cut. Like, whatever. So it'll happen. Send them to me afterwards. Can't wait. Love my job. So I think what happened, I think Minnesota Viking fans took that as me going, the Vikings are out on JJ. Whereas I was trying to say, look, this team is built to win a Super Bowl. This is a young quarterback coming off a significant injury who's essentially in his rookie season now. Why not take a shot at Aaron Rodgers?
Sounds like you hate him.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see him because, he sees it. Like, what am I going to say? Like, hi, I have nothing to apologize for.
You were doing your job. That's it.
Dianna, it seems as though.
What if he yelled? What if he just comes up to me? What if this is the conflict? Like, he's just I don't know what a man would do to a female. Like, I don't think he's gonna swing at me, but what would be funny?
It's unlikely. It's unlikely he'll swing.
It'd be a story if he did.
Yeah,
definitely.
Unlikely.
What would be funny if he started dancing, like a dance routine? I'm just trying to find something funny that he could do.
Something just bizarre.
Dianna, it would seem as though the NFL media is more locked into Shedeur than the number one pick. Usually the number one pick making his debut at that position gets the NFL Network treatment. It's kind of quiet around Cameron Ward, and I know...
You're calling it Cameron? You're in on Cameron?
Well, one of my theories there is that there was already a Cam that played quarterback relatively recently, and he's not at the point in his career where you can just go Cam and everybody knows what you're talking about.
So for now, he's Cameron.
He's got to earn being the universal Cam, and that's a long way to go for Cameron Ward. And he very clearly wants to be called Cameron, so I'm going to try my best to adhere to it. Made some nice throws. I know from being down here, knowing how he can change a program and the type of leader that he is, and I'm wondering if there's any chatter around Titans camp that they may have gotten a really, really good one.
Maybe a rap battle?
You're so right. He owns the title of least talked about quarterback, but that doesn't mean he's not doing great things. I can tell you Tennessee is really happy with where he's at in terms of his development and this transition period where this is so important for these quarterbacks to get adjusted to the NFL. I was in Denver 2 weeks ago with Bo Nix, and we were talking about how different it is in year two. And it's just so funny, it's just like anything. When you think about when we all got our jobs, where we're at now, that first year, you thought you knew what you're doing, but you had no idea. Like when you look back after the second year. So I think there's a lot of just learning, absorbing large amounts. I do think they have a great head coach for that. Anytime I've asked players about what his coaching style is, I always hear teacher with Callahan. Like he's really good with quarterbacks specifically. So I think he's in good hands from that perspective. I don't know how the rest of this roster is going to look and shake out. But in terms of his development, I've heard nothing but great things. It's just we're not talking about him enough because there's no drama. This is how we started this conversation. Like the most interesting relationships, the most interesting things are the ones that have the drama. And there's no drama in Tennessee, which is, I can tell you, they love it this way.
I think there's so much attention around Shedeur Sanders, Mike, that there's none being given to Cameron Ward, and I think that kind of helps him out.
The metrics bear it out.
Okay, so let's play the game that I play with Silver and Darlington. How would you help the situation in Tennessee so we start paying attention to Cam?
Oh, I think his play will make people pay attention. No one's going to give them a snowball's chance in hell week one.
And because Shedeur's not going to start week one, so
They brought in Flacco. It's pretty common knowledge that Flacco's going to start.
Do you think Shedeur will start this year?
I think at some point, because they're going to be bad and people are going to be clamoring for it. And at that point, you need to see what the kid's got. I don't know if he plays before Dylan Gabriel, but I think
they have 5 kids.
Historically, we've all seen the jerseys. Chances are all 4 of them are getting in at one point. Kenny Pickett's going to get a run too. But I think Cameron Ward's play is going to dictate the narrative, and I think it sets up nicely. People are underestimating them. They play in a division that if they make slight augmentations and improvements, they can make a run inside of that division.
Listen to you.
If he has a good performance week 1 against, we all acknowledge Denver's a loaded team this year, has a good defense. If he looks the part, then people are going to talk about him. It's a weird place that no one's talking about a Heisman Trophy finalist that was a number 1 overall draft pick, but I'm sure he's actually reveling in that.
I still think Tennessee has been ignored because they've lacked identity over the last few years, right? At one point they were these tough, relentless, smart players. Derrick Henry was the star. Obviously, they were in the AFC Championship game when Ryan Tannehill was there. But that feels like a decade ago. It wasn't. It was, 5-6 years ago now. But I think this is an opportunity for Tennessee to get back on the map because there's a reason we're not paying attention because we're not really sure what they are. And I think that to me has to be the biggest priority for that team is who are the Tennessee Titans of 2025? And it's got to be more than just the fact that we've got the number 1 overall pick. It's just got to be better than that. Especially the Houston Texans are going to be good this year. They're going to be very good. Like CJ Stroud is not going to look the way he did last year. Not from what I'm hearing. I've heard he's had a great camp.